ever done. I have been obsessed with Louise Carmen journals. A Louise Carmen journal is basically a leather-bound traveler's journal, and I have been on Louise Carmen TikTok for the past, honestly, month and some. Unfortunately, they are way far out of my budget, but I thought I could make my own. So that is what we're gonna do in today's video. We are going to attempt to make our own Louise Carmen inspired. I'm not gonna say that it is a Louise Carmen, but we're gonna make our own little leather-bound journal situation. I'm a huge journaler. I've been since I was very young, so this feels just right up my alley. I just turned 24, so it feels like making journaling feel more adulty and romantic, and I'm so excited. Let's go get the supplies because I don't even know where to start for this. We are right now at Michael's and we are gonna try and find the materials for this. I have a little note in my purse. I need to get a leather piece, 2mm grommets, the hole punching tools, red cord for the strings, and then I believe they should have charms. So we are at Michael's. We're gonna stop in, see what we can find, and then I also would really like to go to Home Goods and see if they have any like A5 sized notebook inserts. So yeah, let's see what we can find. That was such a good stop. First off, I found like 90% of the things that I need. I do need to get some elastic cord, and then I also do need to get some of the eyelets because the ones that they had were too big. But I found the leather, and it was expensive. It was like $54 for a roll of the leather that I need. But I've watched a ton of videos and people say that like with the remnants you can make traveler ones, and then I'm thinking I could possibly give these out as gifts if I like making these. But I was like, okay, let me see if there's a coupon that would work for any of this stuff that I had. And I found like a 30% off coupon online, and I thought it was going to take 30% off of the cheapest thing. That's how they usually always are. But it took 30% off of the piece of leather. So it literally brought the leather down to I think $30 or something. So if you're thinking about making one of these, go to Michael's and check if there are any coupons, because it was going to be like $100 for the total, but that actually saved me quite a lot of money compared to the full price of a Louise Carmen. I will take $70. Right now we're gonna stop into Home Goods to see if we can find some notebook inserts. I also do need to stop at Ulta, but that has nothing to do with this video. It has been a few days and I think I'm finally ready to try and take on this challenge, make my own DIY Louise Carmen. I am so excited but also very nervous to do this. I thought before we get into the actual like DIY crafting of it all, I thought I could show you a little haul of some of the materials that I had to buy. Now you already saw the leather that I got it at Michael's. You can get leather from any sort of leather supply store. You could probably honestly find really cheap leather doing that. I just didn't want to have to go through all of like the tables of leather and trying to find scraps. So I just did, because I knew I wanted a simple black journal with red thread, I just went to Michael's and got some black leather. That has been laying out on my bed, so it's been straightening out. But that was like the first little thing that I needed to get for this project. And then everything else that I got, I did try to get the majority of my stuff at Michael's. I did have to unfortunately get some things off of Amazon. I really try not to buy anything off of Amazon anymore, but I'm just gonna be honest, I did have to get some things for this video off of Amazon. So this is something that I had to get off of Amazon. Unfortunately, I don't live in the tax bracket where I can spend like $20 on Moleskine traveler journal inserts every time that I need to use them. So this is a pack of 6. They're A5 sized and they are dotted grid, little soft notebook inserts. So I got these, and then at Home Goods, you did see it in a clip, I also got these. So these are both about the same size. The only difference is these ones are lined. So personally, I prefer dotted notebooks now. I used to write, all of my journals used to be lined, but now I don't know what it is. I think like the dotted grid gives you a little bit of like a mark of where you need to be writing, but it's still very open that you can just do whatever you want on the page. If you're watching this video and you don't care about journaling, that probably made no sense. But I also got these. I think I'm gonna turn these into like a book journal, which I'll get more into like later in the video when my actual journal has been made and has been set up. This is a little grommet slash like eyelet. I don't really know what the difference is. Every video that I've watched of making one of these journals, they say it both ways. This is a little leather hole punch set, as well as the tool to actually close the grommets on the leather. I'm very nervous about this step, but I got this. I got 2 millimeters, and then I also got 2 millimeter little gold eyelets. This is the size that the Louise Carmen notebooks have for their eyelets. So I got a big, I think this is like 2,000 or something in here. So if any of my friends or family want me to make them a journal, let me know. I have the tools. And then I got this thing of 1 millimeter elastic thread. I really wanted a red or like a maroon. So my journal is gonna be like black, gold, red, you'll see. And then I got some charms, which I will show you the charms when we are actually putting together the journal. But those are the main tools that I have. Right now, I am gonna put together my actual journal stack, and then I'm gonna watch a few videos just to refresh my brain on what I need to do, and we are going to attempt this DIY together. I am so scared. It's not that hard. Like, it doesn't look like a hard DIY. It's just the fact that like leather is so expensive. So I'm scared to do this, but we're gonna do it together. Okay, I think I'm ready to attempt to make this journal. I had to put my hair up because the idea of having my hair in my face while I'm trying to do this, absolutely not. I'm also not gonna take any credit for figuring out how to do this. I'm gonna link the TikTok that I am following. It is this beautiful creator, Anita Joe. She did a very like relaxed step-by-step tutorial, and honestly watching their video of making this journal is the reason I felt comfortable, like I had the skills to make the journal. She just was so calm explaining all of the steps, any of the tools that I would need. So we are going to attempt this. The first step, obviously, before even making the journal is kind of having the spread of journals that you're going to have within your leather-bound journal. So for me, it is going to be all of these. This is probably the most amount of journals that I would use. So I have currently my 2 journal system. I have this planner, which I never hear anyone talk about. If you are looking for a good planner, I recommend this. This is a Muji Free Schedule Note A5 monthly weekly planner. So why I love this so much, first off, the material of this planner, when I sit it down to write, it just lays flat and it's amazing. It has weekly spreads that look like that, and then on the other side it is just gridded notebook paper, and then in the front it has this month layout. But what I really like about this planner is nothing is dated, so I can go weeks in a row using this and I can miss 3 weeks after that, and then I could still just go back and use the next sheet of paper. Like, I'm never wasting any paper using this journal. Would recommend, if you need a planner, to check this out. I love Muji products. I'm right now waiting for some of their A5 gridded journals to get back in stock online, and then I'm gonna make a little order of those. Then this is my journal. This is my Dear Diary. I write everything and anything in this journal. I honestly one day want to do a video diving into journaling and my process of it. I've been journaling since I was really young. I've been journaling since I was like 13 maybe. If you can see, I only have the tiniest bit. This is a paperage journal. It's basically like a dupe of a Moleskine or Electrum journal. It's a hardcover, which I really like. And then this is the first year that I've ever gotten the gridded notebook paper, and I actually really like the gridded paper over lined paper. So I'm almost done with this, and I might repurchase this notebook. They only sell them on Amazon, so I don't know. I might repurchase this in a different color. Otherwise, I would really like to find a soft cover gridded notebook. So if any of you guys have recommendations for like an A5 size gridded notebook that's soft cover, doesn't have to have any of this, but would be nice, let me know. Otherwise, I think my next journal that I'm gonna use, just because I don't have a lot of pages left in this, I think I'm gonna use these that I was talking about earlier. So I am just gonna put one of these in with this stack, because there is a possibility one day that I might have a journal like this and this little journal in it at the same time. And then the last little journal in this stack, I feel like I've been talking for so long. Oh my God. This is the one that I got at Home Goods. This is what the paper looks like. And what I am planning on doing is I want to go back to writing my book opinions. Obviously, I make book videos, so it's very important for me to write down my thoughts about books. So when I do monthly wrap-ups or when I talk about them in videos, that I kind of know what I'm talking about. I used to write them all in notebook paper and just sit down, write a paragraph or two of my review of a book, but I actually stopped doing that and I started putting it in my notes app on my phone. But I'm just a pen and a paper gal. Like there's something about writing on paper, about like just anything in general, but like about your feelings or about your thoughts of a book. Like I want to go back to having it in a notebook style format. So that is what this journal is going to be. It's going to be like my book journal, but definitely not crafty like everyone is doing book journals. This is the stack that all traveler journals that I've seen have, like the 4 strings. So that is, we got to build this little leather bound situation to fit all of these. I'm gonna right now size out my leather and cut it so that it is the height of this that it needs to be, and then we will do the rest of the notebook together. I don't have like a scissors or anything like that, so what I'm gonna do to measure out the leather, I also don't have like a crafting pad. I'm gonna use a wooden cutting board. It's clean, but I don't know what else to cut up against. I don't have a crafting board, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use a ruler and then a pencil to just write the line, and then I have a really sharp utility blade that I will use to actually cut the leather. So I will come back to you when my leather is cut and I am ready to start placing the grommets, which is also terrifying. This whole process is really scary for me. I think I can do it. I can do it. If I put my mind to it, I can do it.
Anywhere you go, give it all. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
So I made the markings in pencil so that it would be easier. Have my piece of leather, and I do have quite a bit left over, so I think out of this little bit I could probably get 2 pocket-sized journals, and I'll probably make one for myself, and then probably I'll gift one to like Sarah and Gus if either of them would want one. Wow, I'm so excited. That's gonna look so cool. I think I want to round out the corners, and then I'm gonna sand the edges before I decide where the grommets are gonna go, just because that part is the part that's stressing me out the most. I figured out something that worked really well for me. If you have tape and you're very paranoid about not putting the grommets in the right place, I just put a piece of washi tape. How I figured out where it was going to sit, I basically took the notebooks and I put their spines right there where the tape would be. This is the part that's going to come around. You want to have a little bit of excess at the top to cover it, and then that is what it's going to look like. So I have that washi tape there, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the 6. So I'm gonna put, well, yeah, 6. So it'll be 3 different spaces for the strings, and it'll be 1 on top and 1 below. There's no going back from here. So I just finished doing all of the little holes. It's slightly uneven, but this is going to be imperfect because I'm making it myself, obviously. And then I also did the 2 little sections in the back for the elastic at the end. So now it is time for us to do the actual grommets. Now I will say doing this like a little test piece helps out a lot. I cannot believe I've done this. Like, that I've made this myself is crazy. All of the hard part is done, kind of. I do want to round out the edges so that these just look a little bit more put together. I don't have a good tool to do this. I'm gonna use the scissors, and then I will have to sand off some of the leather. That one's done. 2 more to go. This is the thread that I got. We are gonna have some charms on mine. So I got all of my charms from Michael's. Usually most people have kind of like a flat pendant on theirs. So this is what's gonna go on the front of the notebook. Everyone usually does a few charms on the top right there. So I got this one. It's a little Taurus, and then if you actually flip the charm over, if you can see that, it says Taurus. And then I got a little C, obviously for my initial, and then the last charm that I got a little 8-ball. I love this charm. I think it's so cute. When I'm putting the thread in, I'm going to put the charms on it at the same time, just because I've heard people have to do it after and it's annoying to have to do after. I just put the thread in, and then I'm gonna put the Taurus little charm in, and then this thread will go in the bottom part. So whenever the notebook is hanging, it will just look like that. So that's what that looks like. I'm gonna do this off camera and just finish this up, and I will come back to you when we can put our notebooks in it. All of the main strings and charms are on. Sorry, it's like not gonna focus on it. This is currently what it's looking like. It's tied in a bit because the elastics are doing their thing, but when I put the notebooks in, it will be straightened out some more. Did see in a few videos, you wanna burn the edges of the string just so it doesn't move. I knotted it twice, and then I'm doing this. You know, one day, it's a dream, I would love to go to Paris and do the Louise Carmen experience. But girl, I don't even have a passport, so that's way down the line. That is crazy. Let's put my notebooks into it. I'm gonna do the back 2 be these. Also, I realized that I actually do need all 4 of these journals in at the same time, because I also need a like content idea journal. How you put the journals in is you literally just put the string in, and then boom, that is in there. I do think on the back string, just because that's like the tightest one that I have, I'm gonna do my actual journal. Just put that in halfway. This is so cool. I cannot believe I've made this. In the front, I'm gonna do my planner. I think in the middle, we'll do my reading journal. And I still have space for more if I wanted to put more journals in there. And obviously, like, I can change this. Oh my God. Then to close it, just put that. Wow. Oh, I might need to redo that because the way that I put the charm, it's gonna be upside down. If I fix that, that would be good. You guys, I've made my own traveler's journal. This is, I think, the coolest thing I've ever done. I'm so excited. I'm gonna come back to you in a couple of days just to see how things are going, see how things are looking. I cannot believe I did this. Wow.
Complication.